Hey guys, welcome to Tales of the Aquarius. My name is Tammy and this is
Emmanuel. And as you know, we got married on the 2nd of September. But what you may not know is that there was a lot of bureaucratic processes involved before we could get married. So what we had to do first of all was to get married legally, and we chose to do this in Denmark. In Copenhagen.
Yep.
And there are a lot of things that went into play before we were able to achieve this, and that's what she's going to be talking about. Because for me, I didn't really pay attention, so just so.
Well, so first of all, I would like to say you can also do this in Germany. It doesn't mean that this isn't done in Germany, but we just chose to do it in Denmark because Germany usually has like scarce appointment dates.
Yeah.
And we sort of wanted to get that done so that we could book a date early enough for the church wedding. So Denmark was like the faster route to go. That was why we chose it. And that one, because it was a faster route. Two, we kind of liked Denmark the first time we visited. And we're like, it would be nice to get married here. So these were like I would say, two main reasons we decided to go the Denmark route.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the process. We'll talk about the process, we'll talk about the document, and we'll talk about the timeline, right?
Exactly.
Like the duration, how long it took us. So first things first was the very moment we got engaged, we reached out to a friend. Actually, unfortunately, we didn't necessarily do this research ourselves. We reached out to a friend who had gotten married in Denmark, and we asked for their what would I call it, agents contact, right? So there was they have like agents who handle this process. So we asked for the person's contact or the company's contact, and they gave it to us. So we sent them an email telling them that we would like to get married in Denmark and we want them to handle the process. So the first thing they sent to us was like what did they send? I think they sent us the bill. There were different packages. So you have to choose which of the packages that you would want. That was the first thing. And then like a long list of documents.
What kind of packages?
They had different packages, something like a gold package, a silver package. There was one that also included pickup from airport transfer and all that. So we didn't need them to pick us from the airport. We had been to Denmark before, at least to Copenhagen before. We knew our way around. So we just basically needed them to handle the main process for us.
Yeah.
So after they sent this to us, we chose the package that we wanted. And then they sent us like a long list of documents. So before we start telling you the lists of the documents, which was the most annoying document that they asked us to send for you?
I don't get angry easily, so.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, basically they were trying to like prove that you were actually dating, or you were in a relationship, or at least you were in communication, right?
Yeah.
And I had nothing to hide. I'm not like, it's honest. So whatever you ask for, here it is. I have a lot of proof. Take.
I think that was the most annoying part, the part that we had to prove our relationship, which meant we had to send screenshots of our chats, of our call logs, of our we also had to send screenshots of like pictures of us together with the actual date and location. So if you use an iPhone, if you go to your gallery and you scroll through your pictures, you will see the date above and the location it was taken. So they wanted that screenshot to show the date and to show the location. I found this really, really annoying because I'm like, what if I never had the opportunity to travel with him, right? What if this was a distance relationship? It would have been harder.
Next time, take screenshot of your Zoom.
of your Skype call.
Yeah.
But that was the most annoying for me. But thankfully, we had a lot of that because we had traveled to so many countries at different times. So we had that. That was one of the documents. Another document that they asked us to send was declaration of our single status.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they told us to send this, and again, I don't even know how to declare that I'm single. I'm just single, that's what I know, but how to declare it, I didn't know. But we ended up finding out that you could just go to the local office wherever you live in Germany and pay. Do you remember how much we paid?
I think 15
or 10 euros. 10. And you ask them for this like declaration. So they give you the document stating how long you've been in Germany, I think the different addresses you've lived in, and that you are single if you are. If you've been divorced, I think you should have that sort of information. So we had that. Then another document, I think there was this other one that they said we should do. We were supposed to also get that declaration from Nigeria, right? Because we are Nigerians, yes. But then they now said since we couldn't get it from Nigeria, we should write a like sort of like a letter stating that at the moment it is impossible for us to get this declaration, but that we are declaring that we were also single in Nigeria. And then we had to sign on that sort of like letter-ish thing. It's a letter kind of. So we had to do that. Actually, I think you were the main person that had to do that because he had been living in Germany for a shorter time and I had been living in Germany for longer. So for me, it was like, okay, for the whole 5 years you've not been married. He had been in Germany for like just 1 year. So it was like, yeah. So you have to.
I don't remember. Where did we sign it? Or where did I sign it?
It was just a regular like Word document that
okay,
they
so
just
one of the
wrote that.
requirements.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he had to do that. That was another document. Then of course, okay, now there's this annoying part too. One of the things they said we should do was take scan of our passport. Now, not just a regular scan. That was the most annoying. Or another annoying. Not just a regular scan. You sort of had to tilt it to see the, is it called emblem? Or to see the hologram thing on your passport. Then you would have to tilt like that till you see that. When you see that, then you take a scan or you take a photo of your passport. And we had to do it. They were different. I think they told us how many we had on our passport. I didn't even know. I think they said there were like 3 holograms. So you tilt when you see the first one, you take a picture. When you see the second one, you take a picture. I hated that part.
But that was not even, that was okay. The one that was most stressful was we had to take a scan of every page of our passport.
Yeah, every page.
And the highest resolution. Remember when we sent the first one, they said that it was not.
It was too small.
So each page had to be at least 1 megabyte. Or,
was it
1 megabyte.
Was it 1?
Or 2.
I think.
No, sorry, between 2 and 3.
Yeah, it was quite big.
So you need the industrial scanner.
So you need like go to like a proper business center or a copy shop to scan this. You can't scan with your home scanner because we tried with home scanner. They said it was too small. So we literally had to scan at our offices because they have like, huge scanners and we use like the highest size possible. That was what we had to do for our passport. So all of the pages, our residence permit, and what other thing? I think we had to show proof of our addresses too. So, I mean, for couples who live together, it's sort of easier because you already have proof that you live together. But because we didn't, we had to show our individual addresses. I think that was also one of the reasons why they asked for proof of our relationship, because we didn't have proof that we were already living together or we had a child. So a proof of this relationship, regardless of the fact that you don't live together, was like an extra requirement. Another thing what other thing did they ask us for? I think in the document they had like, if you're a Christian, what's the name of your church? Oh, they told us to write a letter about how we met.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
We had to write a letter, or you had to write a letter about how we met. No, I think we both.
No, it's just one. So, but me, I wrote from my own perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to attach one, like how you met, basically.
Yeah. So we had to write a letter about how we met. We attached a copy of the receipt of my engagement ring. Remember? Yeah, we attached a copy of the receipt
we attached
of our engagement ring. Like, it was so annoying, but we attached that as well. And then I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really care about like our jobs or income. They didn't care about all those things. So these were the major things that they needed. And then we sent all that to them. And it took 1 week, 5 days.
Yeah, I think maybe about a week.
Yeah, they also asked us if we had any preference in terms of like the city we wanted to get married in. So we chose Copenhagen. But then at first, they didn't have an appointment for Copenhagen. Remember? So they told us that we were going to like, if we could choose another city, because there were no appointments in Copenhagen. But we didn't want that. We wanted it to be in Copenhagen. So we didn't choose that one. Then they told us that, I think, they then said we needed to pay extra. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because the regular city hall, it's called city hall, or Rathaus if you're in Europe. So the regular city hall, which is where they marry people, was full in Copenhagen, so they said we should either go to another city or we had to pay for another venue. So it could be done at some historical landmark, but we had to pay extra for that. So they told us the name of the place. Do you even remember? It was like a water tower. Yeah, it was a water tower. So they told us the name. We did like a quick Google search. It was really, really beautiful. And we're like, why not? Do you remember how much extra we paid?
Nah, I don't remember.
Maybe 150 euros. I know it wasn't a lot. Probably 150 euros or even 50 euros. No, it was definitely not 50 euros. Probably 150 euros more that we had to pay for that, like to use that particular venue. And then we paid that. And
plus remember we also had a fixed timeline. Because my passport was about to expire. So
that was another one. So you can talk about the passport thing.
Yeah, so you need how many? At least 3 months.
On your passport?
Yeah. On your, six? Was it 3 or 6?
It should typically be 6, but Denmark specifically allows 3.
Yeah, so I had a fixed duration to be able to travel to Copenhagen and back because my passport was going to expire in about 3 months and a few weeks.
Yeah.
So we needed them to find an appointment for that period so that I can now, travel, get back, and then renew my passport. So that was one of the things that added to the sort of urgency to get a date.
Yeah. Also, another thing is what we realized is that the moment your marriage license is ready before the wedding, right? So again, this was also new. We had never been married before. We didn't know this, but your marriage license is ready before the wedding, and there's a specific timeline where you should have, come into the country, sign the papers, get married, for it to still be valid. If you don't come in during that time, then you have to start the process all over again.
Yeah.
Right? So, but first things first, I think by the time we sent all these documents and they checked everything, it was right. I think it took probably 1 week or less for them to say, okay, yes, it's been approved. You are now allowed to get married in Denmark, and your marriage license is valid from this time to this time, which is you should come to the country within this particular period to sign and get your marriage license. Then, I think we didn't talk about how much we paid. So because, of course, we used an agent, I've heard it's cheaper if you do it yourself, but I don't know how you can do it yourself. I didn't bother with that process, or we didn't bother with the process. I think it cost us about 1,050 euros. Or 1,200 euros. Truth is, we don't remember the exact amount, but it was definitely more than 1,000 euros for them to do this process. And again, if you then add the fact that we paid an extra 150 euros for us to get to that particular venue, so I would just say put your mind at 1,500 euros for that process. Now, of course, this doesn't include your flight ticket, your hotel bill. So just put your mind at 1,500 to get married in Denmark, aside logistics.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were actually quite fortunate because we got, I think, was the Monday vacation? No,
it wasn't.
Okay, yeah, so we had to work on a Monday.
Yeah.
So, but we got an appointment you have to be in the city for 1 full day because you have to check into the, what's it called?
You have to check into City Hall, yeah.
So we got in on Friday, we went to the City Hall. Then Saturday we got married. Sunday we went back.
Yeah.
So ours was, we basically cut down our costs, our expenses very much because of the shorter timeline. So
so it depends on the city as well. For some cities they will tell you should stay 2 full days before you can get married. So you have to come 2 days before the wedding. But we were lucky enough that we got 1 day. So Copenhagen rule is 1 day before the wedding. So we got an early morning flight for Friday, got there, and then this is also another thing in regards to the checking in. You have to go with your passport, the same passport you used to do the registration.
Yeah.
Take it to the City Hall, and then they'll tell you they want to verify it, and they hold it for how many hours?
I think it was like 4, 2 or 4 hours.
I remember maybe 2 to 4 hours. So they will give you like some type of slip that you should come back to take your passport at this time. So you take it there, they hold it, do all their verification. You have to go, like you don't stay there and wait because it's a long time. So at this time, what we did was we were basically just touring the city, having breakfast because we were there really early. And then when it was time, we went back and we got our passports. That's when we even checked into our hotel.
Yeah.
Right? That was when we were able to check into our hotel. Then, of course, the next day was the wedding. So one thing you must know is that you have to go there to drop your passports. If you don't, there's no point even being in the country. Regardless of if your wedding is already slated for the next day or the next 2 days, no one is going to answer you. So you need to do that check-in. Then, so what happened afterwards? Okay, so we agreed to the dates that they gave us, paid the extra, went there one day before the wedding. Then, on the wedding day, we went to the venue that we were given. We signed 2 copies, yeah?
No, wait first now.
Okay, sorry.
The place was beautiful. So what they did was, it was very fast, it was very short, but the experience was memorable because, so we got married in the water tower, and when you are going in, they played a very nice classical music that just echoed throughout the building, and it was like so.
Well, we are classical music lovers, just in case. So it might not be your thing if you're not, but we love classical music, so it was just perfect. Yeah.
So then we just went in. Then they gave a very short few second speech on marriage and all of those things, and then they asked us, "Do you yes or no?"
I do.
And luckily, she said yes. So, and we then signed, and our witnesses also signed.
Yes. Oh, that's another good point. The witnesses. Oh, yeah. So they'll tell you can either come with your witness, or they would give you 2 witnesses.
Actually, they give you 2 by default. So they give you they have to provide you with witnesses just in case
you don't have
yours don't show up, because you need to have witnesses. So they would provide you with 2 by default, but you can choose to replace and just say, no, these are my witnesses, they are here, and then they would sign.
Yeah. So and your witnesses have to support them, have to submit their passport as well. Do you remember?
When did they submit?
Yeah, when we submitted our passports, our witnesses had to submit their passports as well.
True.
Instead of having 2 witnesses, we had 3, so it was like an extra. But our witnesses submitted their passport the day before, and we all took our passports back. So, of course, on the wedding day, I'm sure they already knew the witnesses, or at least they have some record of them.
Let me sign.
And they signed for us. So yeah, it was really brief. I mean, I've never been to a civil wedding before, so I didn't know how it was. But
what we see on online is that you would snap with it in the background.
That's the interest.
I'm not throwing shades, but that's what I always see.
But I've never seen the ceremony inside the hall, like how
I've never seen the hall before. The only thing I see is that what do they call it? Is it banner or?
I don't know, banner. Yeah, you can call it billboard. The billboard at the back. Yes, but pretty much that was how the entire process was. I think our wedding date from when we got the approval, was it 1 month after?
No, so you mean
so after they told us, so after they told us that okay, it's been approved, your marriage license is ready, you should is valid from this time to this time, which means you have to come, get married and signed within this period. How far away from that time they gave us that information did we then travel to Denmark? I think the dates that we chose was 1 month later.
I think it was less than 1 month, the duration was more than 1 month.
Yeah, the duration they gave us was more than 1 month.
We traveled. I believe we traveled less than a month.
Are you sure?
Because think of the engagement.
Yeah, because I remember. Yeah.
For how long?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I think it was like
maybe
less
three,
than
three
3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
let's just call it 3 weeks, because we got engaged in March. We started the process in the end of March. Started the process immediately. By April, we already had a date, and then we got married in May. Yeah, 13th of May. I know he doesn't remember, but we got married 13th of May. So yeah, so I think that was pretty much how the process went. And another good thing you should know is that a marriage license or a marriage certificate in Denmark is basically accepted anywhere in the world. So this was also one major reason why we chose Denmark. So as opposed to if you get married in certain countries where they will tell you you need to verify this, you need to do this, automatically a marriage license from Denmark is accepted anywhere and is written in about 4 languages. So you don't even need a notary to translate it or whatever. It's already there. And then we got two copies. So we got 2 copies, and because we're working with an agent, we had already paid for the legalization or notarization. It was part of the cost. So we had to send them 1 copy to their office in Germany, and they gave it to like the notary to do all the legalization or notarization. I don't remember what it was, on 1 copy. So we have 1 copy that is just normal, and then we have like a legalized / notarized copy of the wedding certificate or marriage license. And that was pretty much the process. So if you're thinking about getting married in Denmark, we would say give it a go. It must not be in Copenhagen, right? But we'd say give it a go. It's a quick process. It's a fast process. Probably not the cheapest, but from what I've heard from other countries, I heard in the UK it's like £3,000 or £4,000. So that's more expensive. So I would say it's a cheap option compared to what I've heard or what we've heard. And it was fast and easy. And of course, the most important thing, acceptable worldwide.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the information we wanted to give you today. And if you're new, maybe this is the time to say it or not. If you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share this video with others. And if you're also thinking about getting married in Europe, maybe this would be a nice video to share with your fiancé or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever, your partner. And if you're interested in the kind of content that we put out there, which is travel, what else? Travel, lifestyle, basically whatever we get up to, that's what we'll be posting here. If you're interested in going with us through our journey, in our relationship, in our marriage, and just through life, don't forget to subscribe and stick with us on this journey.
Yeah. And actually, I'm quite curious to hear how, like, what your experience was like if you maybe got married in Copenhagen or in Denmark, or maybe somewhere else, maybe even in Germany. So if your experience has been better than ours or cheaper, then we'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So leave it in the comments.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. Let's know what your different experiences, even in any country at all, the difference between this one and what you had to go through to get married legally in any other country that you did that. Thank you. We've come to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in our next video. He's already kicking you out.
Bye.
Bye.